Tennessee's plate presence against Alabama should be a version of themselves that they should have full confidence in their ability to repeat that moving forward. Now, does that mean they're going to have another game where it's a season high 20 hits? No, probably not, especially when you consider the team that they're about to face in top-ranked Texas. But when you have a head coach in Tony Vitello that has consistently harped on the fact that they're overcooking it at the plate, and then in the game today against Alabama, they're able to get those timely hits, whether it's a shallow line drive single or they're flying it out to the outfield wall, they were able to get guys in when it mattered.
That approach needs to be repeated. And then you just go out and have fun and you play. And again, if you make a mistake, you just get back after it.
And a couple of the biggest hits this game came from the unlikely heroes like catcher Cannon Peoples, who went 3 of 4 from the plate today with a pair of RBIs.
A knock in that situation might have been one of the biggest blows of the day, in our favor. So all in all, team effort. Levi did a really good job. He's talking about an at-bat where Reese didn't even get on base. I think he ended up striking out, but wore down that pitcher a little bit, and we end up scoring after that. So teamwork.
Yeah, there's certainly no question that Tennessee's offense was certainly humming, and it started early, of course, by none other than the RBI leader himself and Hunter Ensley. And the bottom of the first inning when he was able to bat in his 61st RBI on the season. And really that effort continued for much of the game. There were only a couple of scoreless frames for Tennessee in this game before they had a splash in the middle innings. And it was that resurgence by Tennessee's offense that it felt at some point we would probably see that again. And unfortunately for Alabama, their head coach was a little upset happened against them.
A little bit down the stretch and haven't played their best baseball, but man, that offense is scary. When it gets rolling, it's scary, and they were rolling from the rip. I think they were on time. They were taking stuff away, and they just got in a groove there. So it just got hard to stop.
So I think the aspect of the offense that they will be able to replicate most moving forward, it's not necessarily the result of the 20 hits that they were able to get in this game and the way that they were able to defeat Alabama, but more so their approach and their presence at the plate, which they've struggled to maintain some consistency and confidence in certain situations in the games. And we saw most of that growth and key parts to what I think will give them success against Texas, and it came after they gave up a 5 spot, and it was how they were able to respond. And the team just talked about maybe the message that they had amongst themselves, and for Vitello, he said that's probably the biggest takeaway from this game is how they were kind of able to stay with it in this game, because you look to last series against Arkansas after, of course, the balk that was maybe not a balk, and you just wonder how the team was going to respond. In this game, there really wasn't much of a question that the team was going to be able to respond.
The motto lately is kind of just been move on to the next. So when that happened, no one was really worried. We were ready for whatever.
All right, AJ.
Okay, maybe despite some of the giggles from the players and maybe the message being a little bit different in the dugout versus what we received in the post-game press conference, it's still that type of composure that Vitello highlights being, a key component for this team, especially here in postseason play.
It's not going to be real pretty, especially in playoff time. So I think it's important for our guys to have a little confidence boost and a feel good after this, but it's also important that they kind of learn the lesson that you just move on and you keep playing ball.
To the 5 spot in the top of the 5th inning was, of course, a throwing error by Dean Curley, who started his release before Andrew Fisher was able to get his body turned around to receive the catch, of course, because he was set a little bit further back into the outfield and just wasn't able to get there in time for that chemistry there. And that was honestly part of kind of what Rebman Walsh and I talked about before the series or the run in the SEC tournament started, about how maybe the guys are a little bit out of sync with each other, and part of those fielding errors comes from moments like that. But despite even being this deep into the season, now into postseason play, the confidence Vitello has in Dean Curley, it's not wavering anytime soon.
This point in the year, I'm plenty good with it. Ride or die for anything, on or off the field with that guy. And obviously, I owe a lot. I owe a lot. So you can talk about wallet, you can talk about whatever, you can talk about all kinds of other stuff. So he's done a really good job for us adjusting at second, like Fisher has done. Like, hey, just tell me where to play and I'll do it. Gavin has been similar as well. I think where he's really shown well there is range side to side. That was a play that was kind of a tricky one as far as the hop you get. And I think because of the way he fielded it. He thought he needed to get rid of it right away, and we had fish deep. So it was an odd play. Should it happen? No.
And a quick note on the pitching staff, of course, because it was Marcus Phillips who got the start today, and it really seemed like he was going to be able to build off his performance that he had against Arkansas, not only his composure, but his timing and not getting bases stolen on him when he was on the mound. And he had a phenomenal performance really through those first 3 to 4 innings of the game, and it's something that really impressed the Alabama head coach as well.
Marcus Phillips was a big leaguer there for 3 innings there. I was like, man, Tony, you said he's going to be up on a pitch count, man. Let's get him out of there. Like, he's thrown enough. I mean, it was 98 to 99 with just plus stuff, all strikes. He was really, really good. And then,
well, despite there being no losers bracket, the result for Tennessee is a little different than their last go around here in Hoover, and the title defense will certainly continue after a solid win over the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll stay in Hoover as long as Tennessee is. So certainly make sure you subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Important to make the right decisions, like when to go for it on 4th down, or when to kick the field goal or go for the touchdown. It's also important to make the right insurance decisions too. That's why my office, Trey McAdams State Farm, is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Our office will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages, so you'll know what to expect when the unexpected happens. With Trey McAdams State Farm, it's easy to make the right call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Proud sponsor of the Tennessee Vols.